Good morning, Dikrao. Today we are going to learn about measure of dispersion, and we will discuss why measure of dispersion is required, right? But in earlier video we learned about the measure of central tendency, that is mean, median, and mode, and we saw the different formula for different types of data, that is ungrouped data, for group data. In group data there are two groups of data, discrete and continuous, and we note down all formulas for given various types of data. Right now we know that measure of central tendency is give us a rough idea where data or points are centered, right? But in order to make a better interpretation from the data, we should also have an idea how the data are scattered or how much they are bunched around the measure of central tendency, right? So now consider a run scored by two batsmen in his last 10 matches, right? For suppose batsman A, you are very interested for playing cricket, right? So for batsman A, I am not writing any cricketer's name, right? So for batsman A, suppose he scores run like 30, right? 91, 0, 64, 42, 80, 30, 80, 30, 5, then he make a century, suppose 117, and then 71. So these are the runs scored by batsman A in his last 10 innings. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay. Now for batsman B. For batsman B, runs are 53, 46, right? 48, 50, 53, once again suppose 53, then 58, suppose 68, right? Suppose 68, 57, and 2. Suppose this is 60, right? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10, right? Suppose this is not 2 but 52. So these are runs scored by two batsmen, right? A and B. Now calculating mean for this. So mean for this is x bar is equal to sum of the observation. So you have to sum these observations divided by total number of observations, right? So total number of observation you have to do. So if you find out the mean for this, that is 53, right? This is 53, and same mean for this is 53. So mean for these both batsmen are same, right? So mean of the runs scored by both batsmen A and B are same, that is 53 here given. Can we say that, my question is, can we say that the performance of two players is same? Can we say performance of these two players are same? Because mean is same for both batsmen. That's why I am writing changing these two observations. If I don't change this observation, we can't get mean for this is 53. So I change the observation, right? So mean for these both batsmen are same. So can we say that the performance of two players is same? Yes or no? Yes or no? Can we say no? Okay. But we are never say clearly from here that performance of the both batsmen are same, because see here performance of batsman A, he makes sometimes 30, then 90, then 0, you have for 0 for duck, right? Then 64, and once he scores 117. So he is not a consistent player, right? His performance of this batsman A, performance of batsman A is not a consistent. Why you can see here for batsman B, he is a consistent player. See, maximum score for batsman B is I think 60, and minimum is 46, right? So range of batsman B is maximum 60, minimum 46. Why? For this batsman 117 is the highest score and minimum score is 0. So the runs varies here. Here if you find out the range, maximum observation 117 minus 0, then range of this batsman A is 117, and here 60 minus 46, that is 40 the range, right? So we can't say that if mean are same, then performance of both batsmen are same, right? Suppose, see here, we draw a graph. We draw graph for this is batsman A. 10, I think we have to take 0 also. So 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, and then 120, because maximum observation score is 117. And for batsman B, if we draw a graph, right, minimum is this, so we can start with 40 here. So I am writing 0, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, and 120. Now 30 is these observations I am representing by color chalk. Okay, so by color chalk, this is 30. Then 91 after 90, so somewhere here this is your 90. Then 0 is here, this is your observation. Then 64 is somewhere here, so this is 64. 42 is here, so this is 42, right? Then 80, so this is 80. Then 5, so 5 is somewhere here, so this is 5, right? 117, oh, at last, this is somewhere here, 117, just we are interpreting, not exactly, right? 71 is, this is 70, so 71 is somewhere here. So these are the runs scored by batsman A, these all dots, right? And for batsman B, 53 is somewhere here, so this is 53. Then 46, this is 46, right? 48, so this is 48. Then 50, this is 50. Then 53, so again 53, so this is 53, so I am making dot on top of this, right? 50, again 53, so this is 53. 58 is somewhere here, so this is 58. 60 is here, so this is 60. 57 is somewhere here, so this is 57, right? Then 52, so 52 is somewhere here, I am making dot here, right? So these three dots are combined together. So we can say from here, because the variability of the scores of batsman A is from 0 to 117, and from batsman B is variability is 46 to 60, right? Now after representing these points on number line, you can see that the dots corresponding to batsman B, are close to each other, right? The runs scored by batsman B are represented by dots. Then these dots are close to each other, right? Are clustering around the measure of central tendency, right? That is mean and median. While the runs scored by batsman B, right, are scattered more or spread out. Are scattered more. See, this is they are scattered more, and there are here. This is clustered together, very close to each other. Thus, the measure of central tendency are not sufficient to give the complete information of the given data, right? Because in these runs scored by batsman A are scattered. There is a lots of variations, and here they are close to each other, no more variation, and that's why the data are not sufficient to give complete information, right? So variability is another factor which is required to be studied under statistics, right? So for that, the measure of central tendency, we want to have a single number to describe the variability, and for that we learn the important measure, that is measure of dispersion, right? Measure of dispersion, right? So that's why due to these catalysts we need another measure from which we get exact information how data are varies from given fixed point, right? So that's why we need a measure of dispersion. Now, what is measure of dispersion? That is a big question. What is measure of dispersion? The dispersion or the scatter in a data is a measure on the basis of the observations. Is the basis of the observation and the type of the measure of central tendency, right? So we are using four types of, but we are going to learn only three. We have three types of measure of dispersions. Number one is range. Number one is range, and you know what is range, and we will discuss later on, right? Number one is range. Number two is quartile deviation. QUARTILE deviation. Quartile deviation, right? DEVIATION. Number three is mean deviation. Number three is mean deviation, and number four is standard deviation. Number four is standard deviation, right? But in this chapter we are going to learn about range, mean deviation and standard deviation, and this is not we are going to learn in this 11th standard. This is in your higher studies you are going to learn quartile deviation, right? So these four are the measure of these four are the measure of dispersion, and measure of central tendencies are mean, median and mode. So remember this thing for an MCQ question. Mean, median and mode are measure of central tendency, and measure of dispersions are range, quartile deviation, mean deviation and standard deviation, right? And among these four we are going to learn only three: range, mean deviation and standard deviation. Okay, now we will discuss about range, right? As we discussed here, range is maximum observation minus minimum observations, right? So range of the given data is maximum value minus minimum value. What is the range? Maximum value minus minimum value, right? This is called a range. This is called range. Maximum value minus minimum value. So range of this observation is 117, and for this 60 minus 48. 60 minus 48, that is 12 for given data. Right? Now we know that data gives us this range gives us a roughly idea about the variability of the or the scatterness of the given data, right? But for this purpose we need some measure of variability clearly such that the measure must depend upon the difference or the deviation of the values of the central tendency, right? So for that the important measure of observation for a central tendency are these mean deviation and standard deviation, and we are going to learn this, right? Okay, so we will now discuss about mean deviation and standard deviation. Okay, so now mean deviation. Now mean deviation, for we require a fixed point. For mean deviation we require fixed point. Suppose that is A. So mean deviation about A is denoted by MD. Mean deviation about A is the sum of absolute value of deviations from A. So if we are given a observation x1, x2, x3, right? Suppose we are given observation x1, x2, x3, x4, x5, and we have to take a absolute value of the deviation from A. So from A, that is absolute value, that is x1 minus A, right? That is x2 minus A, x3 minus A, x4 minus A, x4, 5 minus A. And sum of the absolute value, that is we have to take modulus, because sometimes x1 minus A may be negative also, right? So that's why we have to take to absolute value and then sum. Sum means we have to add these all, and for this we have notation sigma. For sum we have notation sigma. This is x1 minus A plus x2 minus A plus x3 minus A plus x4 minus A plus x5 minus A. So instead of writing this x1 minus A, x2 minus A, we can write x minus A, right? If we put I here, then I running from 1 to 5. I running from 1 to 5. So summation means you have to write I equal to 1. So x1 minus A modulus value. Sum means plus, substitute I equal to 2. You will get x2 minus A. So what is our notation for this sum of the absolute value of the deviation from A? So sigma modulus xi minus A. Xi minus A. I running from 1 to n. Whole upon total number of observations, that is n, whole upon total number of observations, that is small n, right? So this is the formula for mean deviation about a given point A. But we have two types of mean deviation, right? One is mean deviation about mean and another is mean deviation about median. So instead of this A, our 2 points are given from median and from mean, right? So instead of A, if median is given, we have to write M, and if mean is given, then x bar. So simple formula, right? So deviation means varies the observations are varies from given fixed point, that is mean. So from mean observations are varies, right? That is xi minus x bar upon n is mean deviation about mean. So for mean deviation we are going to learn two deviation. First is mean deviation about mean. So mean deviation about mean, right? And notation for mean deviation about mean, that is x bar. Mean deviation about A is noted by mean deviation about A is A. So this is mean deviation about mean, that is x bar, and mean deviation about median is mean deviation about median. Median is m. So this is mean deviation about median. Now we learn three types of data. Ungrouped data. So first ungrouped data. Right? First ungrouped data, then discrete data, and last is continuous data. So we learn about these three types of data. So for ungrouped data, mean deviation about mean is given by, instead of this here a, we have to simply write x bar, that is mean, right? So sigma xi minus x bar whole upon number of observation is n, right? Where x bar is equal to mean, right? Where x bar is equal to mean, that you know sigma xi upon n, right? Where x bar is equal to sigma xi upon n, and this n is total number of observations that you know, right? Now for discrete data, there are given frequency also, that is fi. So mean deviation about mean for discrete data, if we draw vertical line, mean deviation about mean for discrete data is sigma fi xi minus x bar upon total number of observations, right? If you can write n small or capital whatever, right? No problem at all, right? So this is mean deviation about mean, where x bar is equal to, you know, where x bar is equal to sigma fi xi upon n, right? And n is the total frequency, that is sigma fi, that you know, right? And for continuous data, same formula, mean deviation about mean is equal to sigma fi xi minus x bar upon n, where n is equal to sigma fi is total frequency and xi is the mid value of the ith class, that you know, for continuous data, right? So I am also not writing here I, limit of I running from 1 to n, that you know, that's why I am not writing here I equal to 1 to n. So if you want to write I is equal to 1 to n, then you may write I is equal to 1 to n, but no need to write, right? Simply write down sigma xi minus x bar upon n, right? So mean deviation is about mean. Mean deviation about mean is sigma absolute value of the deviation from x bar. Absolute value of mean deviation, for mean deviation, absolute value of mean deviation, absolute value of this x bar, right? Absolute value of deviation, absolute value of deviation from x bar, right? And then take a sum, that is sum of the absolute value of the deviation from x bar divided by total number of observations, right? Now another is mean deviation about mean. So same formula, mean deviation about mean. So mean deviation about mean is, notation is this, mean deviation about mean. Same formula, instead of x bar you have to write median m, right? So this is equal to sigma xi minus m whole upon n, where n is the median, that you know. And for this discrete or continuous data, same formula, mean deviation about mean is equal to sigma fi xi minus m whole upon n, xi minus m whole upon n. Sorry, here I put brackets instead of modulus. You have to put, sorry, that is, you have to put absolute value. So absolute value here is right, this is also right, this is absolute value, right? You have to put modulus sign. Same formula is here, right? So mean deviation, this is important. Then we are going to learn about standard deviation, right, later on. So first now target is mean deviation, right? So mean deviation about mean deviation about mean is sigma xi minus x bar upon modulus value you have to take upon total number of observations, right? So remember this formula, and for mean deviation about median you have to replace x bar by median, that is mean by median, then you will get same formula, right? So sum of the absolute value from the deviation of x bar divided by total number of observations is called mean deviation about mean, and sum of the absolute value of the deviations, right, from median m upon total number of observations is called mean deviation about mean, right? So these all, this xi minus x bar, xi minus m are called, these all xi minus are called deviation. So for baseline A and B, deviations are lots of, right? So this is now important and first topic of your 11th standard of statistic, that is mean deviation, and we are going to learn examples, how to solve the examples of mean deviation in next lecture. Okay, thank you.